Hey, y'all. Hey, before I start this video, look, I wanted to thank every single one of you that helped out and contributed the other day whenever my son's bank account got wiped out there by some hackers there through a Steam account, y'all. I appreciate it. I mean, that did help a lot, keep him afloat. The bank did eventually get it all straightened out, so he's back good again, y'all. But thank y'all very much, y'all. Are wonderful. But anyway, today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm speculating, y'all. I'm spitballing. Just things seem a little bit weird about Krasnov, Donald F. and Trump. His behaviors seems to be a little bit not him. And here's what I'm saying. One thing we know that there's a few factions of people that are up in that White House with him that really, and all of those factions just used him as a vehicle to get to the White House. You've got the Project 2025ers, the Heritage Foundation, all those Christian nationalists there. They definitely used him as a vehicle to the White House. And I talked about that probably months before the election ever took place. That's what they were doing. He's a puppet for them. If you've noticed, this first 100 days has all been about implementing Project 2025. All those executive orders, just doing away with any kind of DEI initiatives and things like that, culture war stuff, Christian nationalist stuff, what it is. And whenever you watch him do those executive order signings, they try to put on this production for some reason. It looks a low budget too. It's like they're doing some sort of stupid episode of The Apprentice where he's sitting there and somebody walks in and presents him with an executive order and explains it to him. This is what this executive order is. And then he's sitting there, Mr. Serious, and then he kind of repeats what the executive order was, even though he don't know what it is. And then he takes this giant Sharpie there, and for some reason he draws his signature. It's painful to watch. I don't know. It's like a little kid learning how to color. But anyway, he does that, and they think that they're being impressive there with their little ceremony that they have, their little production skit that they go on every time he does one of the executive orders. But to me, is what it looks like is that Donald F. and Trump is sitting there at a desk, and whoever that Heritage Foundation person is, that Project 2025er that comes in with that executive order, is looking at him and saying, you're going to sign this executive order because we're telling you you are. You have no choice. You idiot. You don't even know what it is, and it don't matter that you don't know what it is. This is our orders to you. It's like he is their puppet for some reason. So it's all been about implementing Project 2025. Now, I know he went out there and campaigned on lowering people's gas prices and egg prices, food prices. Oh, he ain't done none of that. Where's an executive order to help do that? That hadn't happened, see? Because he's not writing executive orders. The Heritage Foundation, Project 2025 is. Now, look, I know he'll get up there on the social medias there and the TVs and stuff and tell you Trump supporters, you fake-ass patriots, that egg prices have fell by 93%. You know what he's actually telling you? That he knows how stupid you are. See, because every damn one of us go to the grocery store, we can look at prices just like you do, and you know that he's a big fat liar when he's saying that. How does that make you feel that he's lying to you and lying to everybody about it, and knowing that you're so weak and so just attached to him, so loyal to him, that you'll go along with this lie? But anyway, he'll go on about his 93% less price for eggs, stuff like that, tell his lie. But he hasn't done really anything at all to really address any of these problems, because it seems like he's not in charge. What it seems like to me is that the factions in the White House are in charge. And you've got the Heritage Foundation, Project 2025 people. That's the Christian nationalists. And their intent is to destroy the United States government along with the economy. See, because they don't really need a good, strong economy. They don't care about all the capitalisms and stuff like that. They had just assumed that everybody in this country lived like a bunch of peasants, be dirt poor and broke and dependent on them, their authority as the church, the ruling body. The American Taliban. That's what they want. then they can do all of their eugenics and their breeding camps and all the things that they just dream of, okay? So they want to destroy the U.S. government along with the economy. Then you got another faction, the tech bros. They want their technocracy is what they want. They also want to destroy the U.S. government because it's in their way. You know, regulations, taxes, those things. They want to do away with that. They also want to destroy the economy and then prop it back up on their own digital currency. And again, make all of us subservient to them. Them the kings, us the peasants. So along with the Christian nationalists, the tech bros also have common interest in destroying the United States government and our economy. And then you got the third faction, which is the Stephen Miller group. They're just straight up Nazis. Just hateful sons of bitches, you know. Anyway, what it seems to me is that he's not in charge for some reason. See, because he goes around the White House panicking all the time about a 1929, that's what he calls it, a 1929, that he don't want to be overseeing a 1929 style Great Depression under his watch. He's worried about it all the time. Said he's all the time worried about a 1929. Well, the thing is he's the president, right? So he can stop a 1929 from happening by stopping all these stupid trade wars that he's getting his ass kicked in every single day by China. And he knows he's getting his ass kicked by China. He knows what the repercussions of that are because it's already on the way. The negative growth that we're getting, all of the jobs that are being lost. It's already showing signs. The weakening dollar. Nobody's buying stocks. Nobody's buying treasury bonds, and everybody's selling dollars. Those three things are happening at the same time. That never happens all at the same time. So he is crashing the U.S. economy. He sees it happening, but apparently he don't want it to happen. Well, he's got the power to make it stop. You know what he could do? Go back and implement the same policies that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris had, right? He could do that. You know, where we was going to be lowering interest rates all year long, where inflation was on its way down, where we had positive growth. He could do that, and he could just lie to all his supporters about it and say, well, no, this is my idea. I'm doing all this. And they would just buy it hook, line, and sinker like they always do. They wouldn't know any different because they're stupid. So he could just go along with it. In fact, he never had to do any of this stuff. He could have just did like he did the first time he was pretending he was president, and he could have just rode Joe Biden's coattails and took credit for his economy. He could have just did that. But for some reason, it don't seem like he's allowed to do it. If he's really worried about having a 1929 crash, then why don't he put a stop to it? Because he'll get up there on the TVs and the social medias and say, well, I'm in negotiations with China, and I'm going to go easy on them. Decided I'm going to go easy on them now. Well, it's because we're getting our ass kicked by China. So he says he's going to go easy on them. Well, his economic advisors say otherwise. They say, oh, no, we're not in negotiations with China, and we are going to put these tariffs on there. Well, they're contradicting him whenever they say that. The old Krasnov, Donald F. and Trump, that big orange bloated syphilis up Adderall riddled idiot between 2017 and 2021 would have fired them people on the spot for contradicting him like that. Well, not on the spot, you know what I mean. Up on the Twitter spaces, he would have let them know they was fired for contradicting him. He hasn't done that. They're saying, no, he don't know what he's talking about. Well, we're keeping the tariffs on, which means that he's not in charge for some reason. Why wouldn't he be in charge? Ain't he the president? He could do something about it. Apparently not, which makes me wonder, what kind of dirt do they have on him? I mean, we watched all the criming that he did back then, watched it all. I mean, shoot, paying off porn stars, 34 felony charges for that. No, I know you fake-ass patriots out there, you Trump supporters, I know you say, well, that was one felony. They charged him 34 times. That's right, because he committed that felony 34 times. And the reason why that was made a felony, just so you know, I know you've been told before, is because he did that during the commission of yet another crime, and that was trying to hide his misdeeds from the electorate during a presidential campaign. That's what made it a felony, okay? And he did it 34 times. So anyway, and plus he had 50-something more pending. We all saw what happened with the classified documents and the fake elector scheme and the storm to the Capitol and all the things that he did. He was going to prison for the rest of his life, definitely, if he didn't make it back to the White House. We saw all of that. Now, what would be worse than all of that It does make you wonder. I have a question. Hey, Pam Bondi, where are the Jeffrey Epstein files, huh? I thought we was all going to see those, but right now it's magically gone away. I mean, that's interesting. Now, maybe that's something that he might be very, very afraid of, that they could hold over his head and do whatever they want him to do or them to do. I'm just speculating, y'all. I'm not saying any of this is true. I'm just saying it's very, very weird, when you sit back and think about the way he's behaving. I mean, everybody knows that he was best buddies with Jeffrey Epstein. The only people that deny it is his supporters and himself. Everybody else knows it. Reality knows it. See, Jeffrey Epstein even said it, that he was Donald Trump's only friend throughout the 1990s. Well, because Donald Trump couldn't have friends because he would stab them in the back, screw their wives and stuff like that. So Jeffrey Epstein was his only friend. And then you've got the Katie Johnson testimony and the court filings, all that stuff. And somehow she was able to describe in great detail the way Jeffrey Epstein operated his little disgusting little scheme that he had going up there in his Epstein mansion, before anybody else knew any details about how he did it there on Epstein Island. Same way. So, anyway, somehow she knew all that stuff, and Donald F. and Trump was there, and he was somehow treated like a royalty while he was there, which makes me tend to think that he was part of it. One of the ringleaders there with Jeffrey Epstein. So, if you watch the Jeffrey Epstein Island documentary that was on Netflix, maybe it still is, towards the end of it, they showed that there was a walled-off room in that mansion full of surveillance equipment, audio and video surveillance, full of it. Which means there's videos, there's pictures, there's audio. There's a mountain of evidence that nobody has seen. Even Megyn Kelly did a special on it a little over a year ago, I guess, where she was saying that she knows for a fact there's a lot more evidence yet to be seen, and personal testimony from Jeffrey Epstein himself. So where is it, Pam Bondi? Could that be what's being held over Donald F. and Trump's head? Or what else is it? How much dirt does Daddy Vladdy have on him? How much dirt do these Christian nationalist Project 2025 Heritage Foundation people have? Because we know they're all in bed with Viktor Orban's, the Vladimir Putin's of the world, stuff like that. These MAGA politicians have climbed straight into bed with them a long time ago. Apparently, they went and spent the 4th of July with him just a few years ago, right? So anyway, I'm just wondering, what could it be that Donald F. and Trump will be so scared of that on one hand, he's worried about having a 1929 Great Depression, but on the other hand, he is causing it when he could reverse course and avoid that. But yet, here we are. So, anyway, y'all, I'm just speculating. I know this ain't my typical style video and all, but it just seems very strange to me that he would be worried about that, but while at the same time doing it. And these people seem to not be scared of him at all. Like they can get away with anything. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it, y'all. So just take it with a grain of salt. It's just speculations, all I'm saying. I ain't saying any of it's fact. I'm just saying it's weird. All right? So, inmate Trump.